Hey guys, new video here about my China trip. So I've been playing Torchlight Infinite since it came out a couple years ago, and I've actually played it for every single season so far. So when XD Games, they reached out to me and they said, hey, you want to come check out our office and visit? I was actually pretty down to clown. I haven't flown anywhere in 10 years or so. So I had kind of a doozy of a time getting prepared for that. Just a quick thing, if you guys are in an airport or have any kind of flying going on, make sure you get a roller suitcase, because I didn't have one. I just had this duffel bag. I thought it'd be fine because I'm pretty strong. I can just carry all this stuff. And man, I was really tired walking around the airport with all this stuff because it was so heavy and it was annoying. I left my bag unattended for an hour at some gate. And while I went to go to a restaurant to eat food because I didn't want to carry it with me. And when I got back, there was a bunch of staff standing over my bag looking around. And they pulled me aside for this random security check because I just left my bag there for so long. So don't do that. Overall, the flight was really nice. In these airports were, I kind of like the airport. It was a lot to eat while you're waiting around for your plane. And some of the lounges that you have access to in the airport were pretty cool. I had this funny situation where I was at the airport lounge and all the food and drinks are free. But I was carrying around my food, asking the waiter and stuff if I had to pay for it. And he was like, no, it's all free. So that was pretty cool. It was a nice experience. So when I landed, I found out that in China, it was 30 to 40 degrees every single day. In the summer, it's raining off and on all the time. Humidity is kind of crazy. I only brought 3 hoodies and 2 pairs of long pants. And I had the t-shirt I was wearing. I had to go to the concierge on my first day and kind of figure out where was the nearest shopping mall so that I can buy appropriate clothes. So that was interesting. Getting to my hotel, they did pick me up from the airport, but I walked right past Sean, the guy that was supposed to meet me there. So I actually went outside and I hailed a taxi, and the taxi actually took me to the wrong place because I entered the address wrong. So we had to go all around the city trying to get back to this hotel, and that kind of an awkward situation there. XD Games, they had us up in a Sheraton Riverside hotel where the view was absolutely insane. It's definitely one of the nicest hotels I've been in. And they had us up on these really high floors. I was on the 27th floor, Mathil was on the 33rd floor and stuff. So we had some really nice views. If you look at the footage here, you can see that all the cute stuff you can see from outside the window. That red bridge in the background does some nice lighting effects at night, and all the way up until midnight, the buildings do some cool stuff as well. Something that kind of shocked me was the affordability of everything. I'll talk about that later. But at the hotel that we were at back home, right back in America, this thing could cost you maybe hundreds, maybe even $1,000 a night. But here it was 70 or 80 bucks a night, right? And these are really nice rooms. So I was doing the math, and I was wait a minute, in a month I could actually live here, and the rent, I guess, for the month would be cheaper than a rent or a mortgage would be in a lot of cities in the States. And you get free breakfast every morning. So it was kind of nuts. Gotta talk about the breakfast of this place. It was one of the craziest buffets I've ever been to. Huge variety. They were changing out the main menu every day, so you had some new things to try. There's a bunch of little stations where you can make your own noodles or omelets and other things like that. And there's so much fresh fruit everywhere. I feel every restaurant that I went to offered you some kind of fruit, even if you didn't order it directly. I feel I was eating watermelon every single day. So this place, every morning I woke up excited to go down for the breakfast, and the food was actually it felt a little bit healthier than in America. After a week of being in China, my body actually felt way better. I don't know if it was just placebo or the adrenaline of being in a new country, but I felt way healthier and less brain fog and less sluggish than I would be in the United States. So that was kind of cool. The first night, our analyst took us out to dinner to a restaurant inside the hotel, and there was actually where I met Mathil. So I ran into him in the lobby. I cannot say enough good things about this guy. I think we became pretty good friends by the end of the trip because we were working or hanging out probably a few hours, maybe 4 to 8 hours every single day for the entire trip. He is as fit in person as you see on his social media posts, right? Super jacked, huge muscles, pretty handsome guy, great aura. And he actually got me a gift on our first meeting. He got me this authentic Australian kangaroo scrotum that doubled up as a bottle opener. And I actually still have that on my desk right now. It's a permanent decoration for my desk. Me and Mathil, we've been acquaintances for a while. We stream the same game, obviously, as our main game. But I never really expected to just randomly see him in China. And I actually didn't know that he was even going to be there until a week after I booked my flight there and everything. So that was kind of a nice surprise. There's a lot of other people that were going to be there too. I think Don the Crown was supposed to be there. I was excited to meet him. We've been friends for a while, and he didn't get his passport renewed in time. So that was kind of unfortunate, but maybe next time. There was this really cute moment with me and Mathil one night, where we were walking around the outside of Shanghai Tower looking for like a way to get into the observation deck elevator. And we were walking and he just like nudged me and he was like, dude, we're in China. And like, I paused for a second. I was like, hey, whoa, that's right. We are in China. That's weird. And it was kind of surreal, right? We both kind of just laughed because it's like, look, we're just two guys and we're in different corners of the world. And we just play like video games online, right? And we just share that experience with people. But somehow we've gotten lucky enough where we have opportunities like this trip where, they fly us out and they want to kind of like meet us and stuff like that. So that was like kind of cool. All the girls in China love Mathil, by the way. We went to this really nice spa and the two women who gave us massages kept asking me about Mathil and talking about how cute he was. And like when one of the girls asked me what we did for a living, and I told her about streaming because like I can kind of speak Chinese, and when I tried to tell her that we were streamers, she looked at me and she was like, what? Like streamers don't usually look like him. And they were referring to Mathil. I was like, oh, okay. So that was an interesting experience. And then when the massage ended, both these girls, they were like walking backwards out of the room that the massage was in because they were just like, they just wanted to keep staring at Mathil as they walked out. So I was like, okay, that's kind of cool. I think they also said that I was pretty handsome. I think they mentioned that in there, but like, definitely the main focus was on Mathil there. So other people that were there that I've known about from playing Torchlight also got invited. It was great meeting them. It's really cool when like you've watched someone's YouTube videos and they're just kind of like a voice or like a face on the YouTube video, but then like you actually meet them in real life and they are exactly as you expected. So that was kind of cool. So I met like Mike One Up, who makes like Torchlight content. I met Gooba, this cool Australian guy. That guy's pretty huge. Something about all the Australians are like freaking massive. Like all the Australian and the British guys that were working at the office, they were like way over 6 feet. It was crazy. Overall, all really cool dudes. The Torchlight office experience was on the second day, I believe, or maybe the third day. And basically they drove us over to the Torchlight offices like half an hour away. And where me and Mathil did an interview with some of the lead devs. And the office is absolutely huge. They have like multiple buildings since they make a lot more games than just Torchlight. So you had to like walk between these different like campus buildings, and they had like their own little canteen where like there was like free food there. Overall, the offices were very modern. They had nice open layouts, what you would expect, pretty chill decor, and the people had like these really personalized spaces. So we were shown around the whole place, and they had like something like small departments around. You had like the coder area, and then you had like the marketing people. You saw people working on art, like the artists on their little drawing pads. And there was like a full recording studio where they make the sounds effects by hand. There was this one girl that had all these like bunch of phones lined up, stress testing the game on different devices to get the data to like optimize the game. That was kind of cool. You don't really realize how much or how many people goes into like making a game until you see it in person, and seeing all these departments working together was kind of crazy. And there were like so many moving parts, and like something that made me kind of jealous is that in this office, and I'm pretty sure this is true across many offices in China, that after lunch, they all got like an hour to just take a nap. So like walking around, you can see a bunch of cots and like pillows and stuff set up around the empty areas of the office where they would just go to sleep after lunch. We don't really have that in America, and the thought of sleeping at work seems kind of crazy to me as an American, but I guess that's one of the perks. Around the office, they had like so much cool stuff laying around everywhere. I think that they honestly, Torchlight just opened a merch shop, because some of the memorabilia I saw at the office, I would definitely buy instantly for my room. Like there was like a lot of figurines of the heroes that I didn't even know existed. Like I saw like this insane Erica figurine, and then all their posters were really clean and like aesthetic. Those like really thick posters that would like you just like stick on the wall, and it's like a nice little fixture. It was so good. So hopefully they open up a merch shop for like maybe little plushies, little posters, maybe the figurines. We'll see. Maybe sometime in the future that could be an idea. When I was at the offices, I got to do an interview with the lead art developer and the lead game developer, and it was I was like really nervous because like I do a lot of interviews and podcasts and stuff on my stream. But that's like home court advantage. Like I'm sitting in my room, it's my stream, it's my chat, I set the rules, right? And I'm in full control. So going into like this, I wasn't sure like if they could like understand the questions, or like if I would like be asked the wrong question. So I was like kind of sweating when I went in there. Overall, it went really well. They made me feel really at home. They tried to make it as much like a normal conversation as possible. I would ask the questions in English, and then Andre, the community manager, made it really cozy. Like he speaks perfect Chinese. He's massive, by the way. He's like 6'4" or something and jacked. He was a great translator back and forth. honestly, like the devs were really welcoming. They didn't have any restrictions on the questions or anything. I could ask anything I wanted, and they were really open with me. And the design of the place where we were having the interview, it was pretty nice. It was designed in the like Outlaw theme for the new season of Torchlight. If you want to see that interview, it's actually already posted here on my YouTube channel. You can just go to the recent videos and you'll find it there. Like these guys they're pretty casual. They're definitely gamers themselves. I think we spent like 10 minutes before the interview just talking about anime waifus for a while. So that was kind of cool, right? Very personable. In the office, they also had these 2 cats that were in the recording studio. One of them was named Torchlight. They just had like a full cat house and like all the what you need to raise a cat there. So they were cute. Then the next day we went to TorchCon and finally we made it there. It was nuts. Okay, I have never been to another convention before. I've never been to TwitchCon, Comic-Con, any of that kind of stuff. So I didn't really know what to expect. And this one had crazy production value. The venue was in Shanghai Tower. It's one of the tallest buildings in the world. And you had a bunch of cosplay girls like ushering us into the venue so no one ever got lost. There was a little cool fog portal set up. So it was like you were going through a map portal to go into the venue. And this like massive stage and monitors made it quite the spectacle. So there was this giant wall where you could like sign your name to commemorate the first TorchCon, and they gave us this cute little goodie bag, had a bunch of clothes in it. I had a cute little Torchlight figurine in it of like the little robot that's in the game, so that was nice. I have that behind me on my stream now too. During the whole thing, they had a lot of like small bites, like food and drinks, where people were walking around with drinks, and there was like trays of food everywhere, so you were never like hangry at all. And when the event started, it was nothing but professional. The announcer was interesting. There's this like announcer that did the full event, and she was like this like tiny, like probably like 80-pound Chinese girl, but her voice reminded me of like the energy of like Bruce Buffer or something announcing a UFC fight. Like it was crazy. And they gave us these headphones that had like the live translation. And there's like these few people rotating in and out doing live translations for us so we could understand the whole thing. And so that was pretty great. Seats were pretty comfy as well. There's probably a few hundred people in the venue. There's a lot of the Chinese streamers, Korean streamers that we got to meet. They were all really cool. There's a lot of people like live streaming the event. So it had a great energy to it. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing more of these because if this is their first one, they did a great job. And the highlight of the TorchCon was definitely the cosplayers. So they all dress up as like the main heroes that you can play inside the game. And you can see some of my pictures here I took with them in the video, but they did a fantastic job. They look exactly like the heroes in the game, like all the makeup, all the gear that they're wearing. I guess the only one that didn't fully look like it was the Rahan, but that's only because like Rahan in the game is like this super roided out berserker guy and you can't find a human that big. So that was like the only one, but like they were all so good. It was kind of funny because when we first got up, like kind of had this little intermission, the cosplayers were all standing around doing their thing and no one was taking pictures with them yet. So I was like so shy and I saw Iris 2 and Yuga and Rosa like hanging out together and talking with each other. And I didn't know if it was like allowed to go up and take pictures with them. So like by the time I actually found someone to ask to see if I could like walk up and take a picture with them, the Iris and the Yuga had already left. And I missed out my opportunity to take pictures of them. So I was kind of sad about that. But, now I know for the future that, that's what they're there for, right? To like hang out and to get you your pictures. So, I'll know that for the future. Besides the cosplayers, they had like these cool games that we could play to enter into like a raffle where they gave away some crazy, I think they gave away like a graphics card. They gave away like gaming laptops, figurines, stuff like that. A lot of cool stuff. Me and Mathil and the other streamers, like we didn't play those games because we didn't know that they were going to have this raffle. So, I guess it's a good thing because if we had won, they would have said like, streamer client, like it was rigged and stuff. So that's like a good thing that like the streamers didn't win. After the little intermission thing, we had multiple people on stage speaking. Every one of them seemed kind of passionate about like the future of the game. The producer first came out. He gave like a history of the game and like what he wanted to do with the game and a vision of what they wanted to do going forward. There's a lot of like game improvement stuff, roadmap stuff that you would expect from one of these cons, new content, never before seen, like little teasers and stuff like that. Finally, they did the questions and answers. And oh man, this was like the funniest part of the con for me because you would think for a first time convention that they would script the questions and maybe like cherry pick it a little bit. But no, what they did is they were like, hey, who in the audience has a question? And people just raise their hand and they just select someone random. It was unscripted because like each one of these people they chose by random, it was like the red shirt guy meme from Diablo Immortal. Like every single one of them just asking the most like insane questions. And a lot of them, when they would like ask a question, right, like a very personal like grievance question, they would have like 2 or 3 follow-up questions. And so like I was like, man, I was shocked, but it was also hilarious at the same time. I mean, good on them for kind of like going YOLO on that, right? We had a nice little moment also during this convention with all the streamers in the courtyard of Shanghai Tower. We did a bunch of photo ops and we did an impromptu interview with the announcer girl from the stage. And as I was looking around, I was thinking that like this must have cost a fortune because like we had so many areas of like the Shanghai Tower reserved for so long. And I was just like constantly impressed by the effort that was put into the whole thing. Definitely would go back for future events if I was invited again. And overall, it was a great vibe. Andre, once again, the community manager, he was there with us the whole time, and he really helped out because like a lot of time I would be like, hey, can I do this thing with that person? And Andre, he's like a super bold guy, and he would just like in perfect Chinese, he would go over and like facilitate things for us. So that was pretty great. Overall, I want to give some thoughts about how like everything was taken care of for us. Like on this trip, me and none of the other swimmers, we didn't have to like really do anything ourselves. They took care of everything. Like every time we needed transportation, whenever we wanted to go somewhere, all of our meals, everything was like already pre-planned, and they had like our best interest in mind for everything. Like it was so nice. I'm sure it was nicer for the other streamers because like I speak Chinese a bit, so like I wasn't worried about language barrier or getting around and stuff like that. But, you know, to imagine going to another country where you don't speak the language and you might have some weird preconceptions of the country, having everything handled for you on a day-to-day basis was really nice. And so I never had to worry about really anything while I was there. Honestly, I am full on like China #1, fully China pilled because the country was just a joy to be in. I know a lot of people have like these weird ideas about China, but none of the stuff that you hear is really was really experienced by me. Like none of like the weird stuff, I guess, right? Like yeah, there's a lot of cameras everywhere and stuff, but man, this city, Shanghai, I'm pretty sure this is true of all the other major cities too, is I felt so safe my entire time there. I mean, I could walk around at any time in the night, go anywhere I wanted, and it was amazing. One thing I want to talk about, just like hanging out around China by myself. Everyone was so helpful. Even if they didn't speak English, they would try. They'd be very patient with you when you took out the translator app. You know, one thing I really noticed about the people, like the working people that I met around China, was that they're also professional. Like it seemed like everyone had like a uniform, and everyone was like really into their job and stuff, and everyone was like, you know, pretty cool. They were really nice. They helped us out a bunch. And you know, I don't think I like ever had bad vibes from any of the Chinese people in the city. Yeah, it was pretty great. Another thing about China is like I feel like it's technologically has way more quality of life than America. Like there's this app called Alipay that we use for everything. It's kind of like Apple Pay, but it has every other app in it. So like the Uber app would be in there. The Uber Eats app would be in there. You order movie tickets from that app. You literally do everything in that app. It has like a translate feature, so everything ends up in English. So super easy to use. That was nice. I think the Uber there is way more efficient than in America, because like when they have like this app called Didi. The app like shows you on it pins to like an altered reality thing where like it shows you where you should stand on like a little mini map, and there's like so many more options. You can see how many people are in the queue for all those apps, so that was nice. When I went to like these shopping centers and eating all this food and stuff, the food selections are insane. At any hour of the day in China, you can get like pretty much all the food you wanted. Everywhere there's always places open at any time. I went around like to some of the more touristy places where they had like the Chinese architecture and like a lot of tourists there, but that was great too. We took a lot of pictures there. And just a variety of food was insane, especially with how cheap everything was. I had this one experience where I went to like this grocery store and I made out with like 2 massive bags of groceries, and it came to like 100 yuan, which is like $15 or something. And it was nuts. Like the prices of everything, even the tourist areas, was amazing. Like I felt like if you're being paid in like Western currency, I was like, dude, I just want to live here, because like the quality of life would be so good, right? You could like go out to eat at like these restaurants all the time. Another thing is like going home. Okay, so my last day going home, they had like a driver ready to pick me up at the time that I needed to go to the airport, so that was really nice. All of that was taken care of for me as well. Going home was kind of sad actually, because like I had like really loved all of my, I think it was like 9 days in China. So I had to do like this like transit thing where you have to go into China and like into another third country so that you don't need to get a visa again in China. I ended up going from Shanghai to Incheon Airport in Korea, and that was kind of cool. One thing I figured out is I am terrible at selecting flights, because apparently there is a direct flight from Korea to Chicago, but I selected this massive layover. Like I got to Incheon and I was there for like a 5-hour layover, or no, I think it was like a 7-hour layover. And then I got to Minneapolis and that was another 3-hour layover. So I'm definitely gonna plan that a little bit better the next time, but you know, it wasn't too bad. I think if I were to do this again in the future, I would probably stay a little bit longer actually, because I was working 7 days and I had a couple days of leisure time in China. Next time, I'll say like 2 weeks would be, yeah, maybe 2 weeks would be like the perfect time to spend there if you're on vacation. Then you get to see everything. You can go to the other cities and all that will be enough time to see everything that you want. Thank you to XD Games for inviting me out there. I'll definitely do it again. Super impressed by what they're doing with the game. Super impressed with just the overall experience and the passion that they have for Torchlight Infinite. And yeah, can't wait to see what comes next. All right, thanks guys. Thanks for watching my video. Bye. Bye guys. Bye. I think that's it, right? We talked about going around the cities. The city seems way more futuristic. It's almost like a cyberpunk city. There's always like so much effort put into like the light shows and crazy displays in Shanghai, especially on the Bund, like the Bay Area. Like the skyline's incredible. I mean, it is like the top city, I guess, in China, but just walking around looking upwards, seeing like how much effort is put into that to make the city feel alive. Like that's not something I'm used to where I'm from, which is Chicago.